I mean, so to make a parallel example, think of capitalism as an objective function. So you say making money is your goal, right? When you wake up, that's what you do. And now you see the entire world is engaged in that goal in some capacity. Everyone. Don't Die is a similar game where you say our goal as a species is to end death, not just for ourselves, for us collectively and the planet. And so you're basically taking on the biggest challenge you could ever take on in this part of the universe. You're trying to solve for entropy. Like, let's just list out a few things we could work on. How would you go about building a global biological immune system? So let's say we say a pandemic like COVID is not good for us. Like, we don't want those anymore. We don't want the plague. We don't want somebody in a lab, cooking up smallpox again. Great. So how could we build out a global biological immune system where we have sensors around the world where it automatically detects any kind of pathogen that is threatening to our life? That's a pretty cool scientific project. Now, let's say we care about the oceans and the ocean health, and the coral reef is burning up right now. That's bad for the environment. How do we stop that from happening and rebuild coral reef? And so you just start taking down the projects of how could you as a species solve for entropy, like solve for death. The list is endless. It's like you have more to do than you ever could in capitalism. It's a bigger game than capitalism.
Can you flex it in the same way?
Sure. I mean, you have the same rules, right? Like, anyone who does something has high status in the community. Like, if I'm making a contribution, like, for example, I started to again, like, my entire game is to make death-related things that are high status, make them low status, right? That's my whole thing. And so in this case, you could start scoring companies that do something that actually kill you, right? So that could be scrolling, endless scroll, inducing you to endless scroll. It could be alcohol. It could be vaping. It could be porn. It could be toxins, like, right, all those things. Companies that introduce that into the world, you would quantify it, and they would get a die score. Any fast food company represents death. Right? They are actively introducing molecules in people's body that induce death versus more healthy ingredients. So, like, that's an example where you start assigning a quantitative measure on what an entity, individual or company, is doing into society.
Like a carbon offset, but for longevity.
Exactly. But it defined it this really granular fashion, and you tie, because right now, if you make money and you dirty the world, doesn't matter. Right? If you make money and you poison people, doesn't matter. In fact, you're kind of a hero. So, like, to tie social status with your actual effect on life or death for the species.